Thank you very much for your interest. Why should you apply to Belgium? Belgium is a country that is quite developed and for the purpose of immigration it allows actually to obtain a passport within 6 years. So this is probably one of the fastest countries in terms of citizenship. There are two ways to receive Belgian residence permit, either through uh, work permit or through professional card. Well, let's look at both. Professional card is authorization for a businessman to get established in Belgium and to run his or her own company. It is not just about investment. You will need to prove that your daily presence in Belgium is required. So there must be a job for you within the company. We must prove to the authorities that without you, the business will not exist and it will not be successful. We will need to provide a very detailed business plan, market research. We need to get local suppliers and clients that are ready to work with you and for you. And you'd also need to obtain a series of documents locally. Well, from you we'll need your resume and CV. If you have been running your own business for quite a while, we would like to have a copy of your financial statements, any information that can prove that you are successful and you're experienced. If not, then a resume would also explain what you have been doing to date. Also, you will need to care for police clearance and eventually it would help if you had a diploma with at least a bachelor's degree. So once the documents are all collected, we have a look at them together and you make an appointment in the Embassy of Belgium in the country where you live to submit these documents. And with these documents you may have an interview at the embassy, which is just short, just to explain who you are, what you're going to be doing, and just some countries don't have it, like in United Arab Emirates there's no interview, in Qatar there is, in Moscow there is, and in Ukraine probably yes, probably no. So it really depends. It really depends on the country. So once you have submitted all the documents, we wait, and normally this waiting time may be anything between 3 to, I would say, 8 to 9 months. So once the professional card is approved, you go again to the embassy, you apply for a visa D, which is a long-term settlement visa with which you can finally arrive to Belgium and with which you can obtain your residence permit in the commune. To obtain a residence permit, physically you need to arrive with your passport and with a stamp on it that you have crossed the border and pass the control by the police, which will really come to the place where you live and will check that you really live there. And with this you can get within 2-3 days, you can really get your ID. If you go this route, your ID will be valid for 2 years. You'll have to renew. If you want to renew, your company should be active and it should be doing things we have declared it would be doing in the business plan. You can bring your family with you if you think it is necessary. As soon as you have your own residence permit, as soon as your company is set up, you can apply for them. Well, they can apply it together with you in the embassy in the country where they actually are now. And they also get a visa D. With visa D, again, they arrive to Belgium, they pass the police control and they get the residence permit. This may take anything up to 6 months, but with us, if you decide to use our help in getting your family reunification, we may get it much faster. If you are a resident in Belgium, you will have the access to the medical care and you will also have the right for pension, and your kids will have right for schooling. That is not free. You will have to pay taxes, and the minimal social tax that you would need to pay to the government being an independent is around 3,000 euros per year, which you have to pay by quota. But we suggest that you pay more because that will really prove that you are able to sustain yourself and that your business actually is generating enough cash for you to live in the country well, and that you can pay yourself a salary that's not just a legal minimum, but it is a bit more. In 5 years from the first day since your arrival, you can apply for permanent resident status. With this status, you can stay in the country without any conditions. The only condition being that you stay in the country, that you still keep your address. With this, you immediately can lodge your application for citizenship, and by law, now this process will take maximum 4 months. So if there is no objection from the office of the prosecution, then you get converted into being a Belgian by default. Once this is done, you can reclaim your local ID and get your passport. What are the important elements? Well, you have to be paying taxes, you have to make sure that your company is in order, and to renew you need to prove that your company is actually doing things. If the company is not doing things and you only come to the country once in a while, then well, you may have a trouble. The question is also, do you need to stay in the country all the time or not? No, you don't need to stay. You're allowed to travel. You don't need to live like 365 days without any exit. No, that's not the case. And especially if you're a businessman, how on earth can you do it if you just sit in the same place? So you can travel. If you have more questions about this particular aspect, you need to get in touch with us so we can organize a special consultation and explain you how this can be done. The condition is that you have your own address. So that means that there is a house or an apartment where there is your name at the door, and that you can receive post into this address, and you can react to this post. This is very important. If it appears to be that you're away for too long or you do not react to letters, then there is a chance that the authorities will decide that you're no longer at your place, and they will just strike you out of the company, out of the national register, and that's it. So you have to restart the process, so you don't want to lose that. So this is the route number one through the professional card. What is the other way? The way to receive a residence permit in Belgium is if a large enough company in the country where you live can send you to Belgium to be their project manager. So if the company is, for example, considering to expand the business into Belgium, and they decide that they need somebody at the place to help manage the possible tasks, then they can send you to Belgium, and that is actually a much faster and much clearer route to get into the country. So what happens is that we'll help you with all the paperwork that is required, but essentially your company should be large enough, so we must provide the proof of turnover, so it should be in the ranges of millions of euros. And it should be really existent. It's not just a logistics company that just exists on paper, but it's not a trading agent, it's a really company that is doing things. We get you the contract, we get a set of documents that are required. We apply on your behalf for the so-called permis unique, which is the unified permit that actually combines the residence permit and the work permit. With this in hand, once this is approved, and that takes normally 3 months since the day the application form is launched, it is approved in 3 months, and based on it, on the decision to give it to you, you go again to the Embassy of Belgium and you claim your visa type D, which is a long-term settlement with a visa, with which you arrive to Belgium, and again you pass the police control and you apply for the residence permit. Now, if you go this route, you should understand that normally you'll be subject to local taxation and you need to pay salary taxes. And the condition of you having paid salary taxes is the one that will allow you to claim the renewal of your residence permit. You can claim it again and again, and so if you have it, you can have it up to 8 years. But since you have been, since you have lived in the country for 5 years, you can go to the local authorities and claim the long-term residence permit, which is again will not be tied to any particular permit. You just get a residence permit. There's no work permit tied to it. You can stay in the country unconditionally, and with these documents in hand, you can again apply for citizenship, which will normally be given to you within 4 months. So the condition for you to receive it is to pay the taxes on time. It will speed up, it will facilitate, I would say, especially in the route number 2. If you pass the test in French or Dutch at least at A2 level, which is advanced beginner. But if you go the route number 1, you don't need to qualify, you don't need to pass the language test. So the advantages of going to Belgium are clear. It is, besides its geographical locations, it's a multinational place. In Brussels there is a European Commission, European Parliament, NATO, lots of diplomats and lots of people who speak English. So it's quite easy and quite pleasant to mingle with the locals and with expatriates. The logistical connections are great. So the schooling is of high quality, the medical care is of high quality. So if you are thinking of where to vest yourself, I think Belgium is a good choice. So thank you for watching this. Please refer to our immigration guide. Please write us questions if you have. And once you decide, then let's go ahead. The only thing that we keep telling to our clients is that if you have decided to immigrate, or if you have decided to get yourself a residence permit somewhere, do it, because with time immigration only gets more complicated. So best of luck. We look forward to welcoming you and to have you here. Thank you very much.